Today meditation is about this painful way with slow realization. So you do have this document in your folder. So to understand the painful way with slow realization, we go into the website, and here in the website it says when you go to this first profitable direction, it explains, Bhikkhu, what is the difficult means and slow realization. Here Bhikkhu, certain one abides, reflecting loathsomeness in the body, loathsomeness in food, detachment from all the world, seeing impermanence in all determinations or all formations, and the perception of death is thoroughly established in him. He abides, relying on these powers of a trainer, such as the powers of faith, shame, remorse, effort and wisdom. The five faculties of faith, effort, mindfulness, concentration and wisdom are blunt in him. As a result, he realizes the destruction of desires slowly, with successive leading. Bhikkhus, to this is said the difficult means and slow realization. So there are 5 meditations over here. We did this detachment from all the world, Sabbaloke Aniparatta Sanya. You did that on the first day. And then seeing impermanence in all determinations, using that Dadutu Punyangata, that all formations are impermanent, Sabba Sankaresu Anicca Sanya. We did that one with this Dadutu Punyam Pavaditi Gata. And that the perception of death that you did in the first day, using a dead body, you contemplated the arising and passing away phenomena. So only 2 things we got to do, although we have done part of it. That is the loathsomeness in the body and the loathsomeness in food. So this person is abiding, relying on these 5 powers, the faith, shame, remorse, effort and wisdom. So the 5 faculties, faith, effort, mindfulness and concentration and wisdom are blunt in him. They are not sharp. So he realizes the destruction of desire slowly with successive leading. So now out of 5 meditations we did 3. So there are 2 to be done. So first we start with this loathsomeness in food. So here we are looking at that what will happen to you when you eat, when you take food. Now you can see, if you leave food outside for 2 days or so, then 3rd day you come, close your nose and put into the bin. So it's a disgusting thing. And so this food we take and put inside our mouth, and then it will be there in our body for 2 days or so. When the excrement is coming out, then it is disgusting thing. In between, what is happening to us, you can't normally see, but there is this fortunate movement where you can actually see. That is the vomit. So let us look at this vomit, let us examine it from your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. First let us look at from the eye. So when you look at this vomit from your eye, it's not a nice thing to see. It is this, phlegm, bile and all those things with the acid mixed up, and it's not a good thing to see. So your eye does not like to see that one. And then let us examine that one from your ear. How do we examine from the ear? Someone having seen vomit somewhere and coming to you and describing it, in that particular place I saw this disgusting thing, and when that person is explaining it, that person's mouth is going in a direction, and so your mouth is also going in that way, so you don't like to hear about the vomit. Now let us examine it from the nose. Now that one actually kicking you very well, acid and all those things are there, and you get the kick. I can tell you that when I was in Sri Lanka, when I was going in a bus, there was a little boy and a mother in front of me. On to the right side, there was another woman to my right side, and that little boy just put the head out of the window. So you get the picture now. This person is going to vomit, and the lady next to me, took that sari and started wrapping the head from that one. So that person is looking at that boy as looking at a criminal. So this person can't tolerate the smell of the vomit. So our nose is rejecting it. Now let us examine that one from the tongue. Would you like to sort of taste it from your tongue, this vomit? You don't. So your tongue is also saying, I don't want it. And then let us examine it from the body. So would you like to touch vomit from your hand? Now if it is, by any chance, by accident, if you touch it, vomit, then, wash it and, get out of this thing. So that means 5 things that eye, ear, nose, tongue and the body all are rejecting this vomit. So when those things are rejecting, then the mind is also saying, I don't want it either. So now 6 spheres of perception actually rejecting it. Now where is this vomit? The vomit is inside your stomach. So now this one is actually going through this, through the body. And so it comes out as an excrement. When these things are going, inside your stomach, and then there's some sort of a juice extracted from that one. That is like vomit juice. So can that juice be sort of a good thing? It can't be, isn't it? It's like that you put a liquidizer and put the vomit and liquidize it and extract the juice. So that liquid is the one that we are calling as the blood. So can that be a good thing? It can't be, because it's extracted from this vomit type thing. One nurse in America was telling me that she can tolerate the smell of excrement, but she said she can't tolerate the smell of blood. We normally, when we have some sort of a wound, we put a plaster and close it. We do not know the smell of the blood that much. But the nurse sort of knows, because people are coming with broken legs and so on, and then it's sort of dried up and how smelly it is. So normally women are aware of this, how smelly is this blood. But people normally have this wrong idea. They think that it's a pure thing. That when I was in the uni, I remember that some boys, when these mosquitoes are biting, then they kill the mosquito and then writing from the mosquito's body, you are actually drinking my pure blood. That person did not understand that it is actually, vomit type thing, then extracted from that one is not a pure thing. So this thing is now going from your hair to your feet level, everywhere. It's like, pipes are there to those veins. It is carried forward to every place. So now with the idea that you have this loathsomeness in food, like looking at the vomit, and then from those vomit we got the blood, and now from that, that from the blood you get this hair of the body. Remember that we were looking at these 32 parts of the body yesterday. That is this head hairs, body hairs, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bones, bone marrow, kidney, heart, liver, pleura, spleen, and the lungs, intestine, mesentery, and then we have the content of the stomach, excrement, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat, tears, saliva, snot, synovic fluid, urine. So we are going through, so if you add the brain to this one, then there are 32 parts. So you are going through these 32 parts with understanding that these are made from that, vomit type liquid, that is this blood. So that you got to be sort of practical when you are doing this one. That is this is the loathsomeness of about this body. Here, now hair, for example, one would be sort of combing in the morning and treating and like a nice thing. So if your mind is not, getting rid of this sort of thing, then just take this, hair, the people over here, cut it and put it over here in front of you, like in a ground. Then you can see it has got this hair, the grey hair, white hair, split hair, and with the dandruff and those, insects sort of scenario. Then your mind won't get attached. So you need to be practical. And Sampati Mahabrahma says that you need to go through the 32 parts, and then there is a one that makes you, your mind go into concentration. For example, I start with this hair, body hairs, nail, teeth, skin, flesh, sinew, bones. When I come to the bones, then I am going to this something called Attika Sanya in Pali, that is this skeleton meditation. So my mind is sort of getting concentrated around it. You have seen skeleton in pharmacies and so on. When you go in shopping, when you look at the skeleton, then take a good look and then meditate using that one as the object of meditation. So if you do that meditation, if your mind is getting concentrated, then apply in day-to-day life. Let us say, having done the meditation, you are going to work, and when you are going to work, then some people are coming in front of you, and so make all of them as a skeleton. So now the skeleton is moving towards you. Then how we walk. That I learned this one from a Buddha. There is one discourse in this Khuddaka Nikaya where Buddha is saying that there are 9 holes in our body. You see, we have these 2 holes in the eye, 2 for the nose, and 1 for the mouth, and 2 holes for the ear. And then we have this place we are passing excrement and urine. So there are 9 holes. And so Buddha is saying that, from the eye, you get these discharges coming out. From the nose, the snot is coming out. And from the mouth, the saliva, phlegm sort of thing, they are coming out. So down below, urine and excrement. So Buddha is saying it's oozing, the liquids are, coming out. And if someone is having such a body and then disparage other person because of the body, and then what is it? This is other than the stupidity. My body is oozing, liquids are coming out and, leaking, and then say my body is good, your one is bad. So, and then Buddha said how we are walking. Normally we think that, we are going in a nice walk we have, but how we walk? We bend and stretch, bending and stretching. Those centipedes are, when they are moving with these 40 feet or something, when you look at it, look at this creature, how it is walking. And then how you are walking, then Brahma is looking at in the Brahma world, look, these people are, bending and stretching, the bending and stretching. So when you see this skeleton, In the morning you are going to work and then the skeletons are there. Now they are walking towards you, bending and stretching, bending and stretching. So then your mind is not getting attached to those bodies. So one has to be practical. Some people are looking at this sort of experiment part. So the experiment, if you are looking at the experiment, then you need to focus your mind to an instance where you have seen, very bad experiment. Otherwise, the word experiment is just, doesn't do any good to you. You need to sort of focus that your practical experience, that your mouth went somewhere when you look at that experiment one day, and something like that one, you need to get that one. Then you get the sort of a kick to your, this meditation. And some people sort of look at this urine. So for me, that one is a really good one as well, because I remember when I was in the uni, I was in the hostel first floor, and the ground floor, the students that they have urinated near the step going to the upstairs, and that is horrible, that because of the sun's heat, that smell. When I remember that one, I can get rid of 32 parts at once, the all the same board. So be practical, use that practical thing so that you can do. So what we do, we look at the vomit, analyze it from eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind, and they are disgusting, and every this fear of perception, eye, ear, all those things are actually rejecting them, and from that one, that this juice and vomit extract sort of juice, and from that one we got blood. From that blood we got hair of the body, nails, teeth. So you go through these 32 parts and then pick up something more appealing to you. So other meditations you have covered. So we have done these 4 meditations. That is this loathsomeness in the body, loathsomeness in food, detachment from all the world, and then the impermanence in all formations, and also the perception of death that you did on the first day. So even the perception of death meditation, the one day, when Buddha went to a place where the monks are, talking about this meditation, perception of death, then Buddha asked, how are you doing it? And then they said that after the meal, because of this, air of the body or something agitated, and then I might die. So because of the wind. Another person is saying that when I go on Pindapata for alms, gathering alms, then maybe a snake will bite me and then I will die. And Buddha said that is, no one is doing the meditation correctly. Buddha said, when you breathe in, think that you don't live to breathe out. You breathe out, you don't live to breathe in. It is that quick. So when you do these 5 meditations, then you come to this first jhana meditation. This is a painful way with slow realization. That is what we were talking about. So those 5 meditations. So you come to the first jhana meditation. So the first jhana meditation is that here a monk aloof from the pleasures of the senses, aloof from unskilled state of the mind, and abide in the first jhana, concentration with rapture, and then there is this concentration. So that he has got this initial application, the sustained application. The initial application, sustained application, vitakka vichara in Pali. It is a thought of renunciation, thought of non-malevolence, thought of non-harming. So the thought of renunciation, for that part we were looking at 32 parts of the body. So when you're looking at these things are disgusting, then your mind tend to get out of that one. So when you recall your ability to give up, what you are giving up over here, urine, excrement and all those things, and including your hair, so on. So those 32 parts. So if I am I have the ability to give up that one, so then I get this rapture. So that is the meditation technique over there. So from that first jhana concentration, you have the rapture where, rapture is coming from your head and flowing through the body, sometimes from the fingers also they are starting. So then you come to this Kaya Anupassana, the first foundation of mindfulness. That is mindfulness regarding the body. So that meditation part we did on the first day, remember? That Sat is form, Sat is the rising of form, Sat is the passing away phenomena of form. That is the Samadhi Bhavana, concentration discord. One seek delight, one will come, one remain holding to it. By doing that one, the delight in form come to arise. The delight in form is clinging. As clinging as condition, the existence. The existence as condition, the birth. So that is the arising of whole mass of suffering. And then remember we put a dead body and then we contemplate it. And then we look at the other way around, that is the passing away phenomena. One does not seek delight, does not welcome, does not remain holding. And by doing that one, the delight in form ceases. So with the cessation of delight comes the cessation of clinging. With the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of existence. With the cessation of existence comes the cessation of birth. So this whole mass of suffering come to an end. Here when we talk about this arising and passing phenomena, here at this particular point, it is this view clinging, because we are talking about the from the delight you get the clinging. That is this the view clinging is the one playing its part over here. So that is the mindfulness regarding the body in a nutshell. So this one Buddha explained in Four Foundations of Mindfulness. Buddha explained in using 5 parts. The first one in the mindfulness regarding the body in Satipatthana Sutta, it is the first one is the mindfulness of breathing meditation. So here mindfulness is breathing meditation is a very heavy meditation where it has got 16 parts, and many people have heard only about 2 parts. So the first one is that when you are taking a long breath, you should be aware of the long breath. When you are putting out a long breath, you should be aware that you are putting out a long breath. That is the first one. And then second one is that when you are taking a short breath, you should be aware that you are taking a short breath. When you are putting out a short breath, you should be aware you are putting out a short breath. That is the second one. And then the third one is the Buddha is saying this in breathing and out breathing, consider it as a body. So that knowing this body, you breathe in, breathe out. And then the fourth part is that you are tranquilizing your bodily formations. You know that you are actually taking this long breath, short breath, and then it is sort of subside and going down. So tranquilizing bodily formations, you breathe in and breathe out. And having said that one, Buddha said, observe the rising and passing away phenomena of that breath. And that is the Buddhist meditation. Buddha mentioned this one about 27 times in Satipatthana Sutra. This is the part that Buddhists are not doing. That most of them are doing this meditation sort of stated in India. It doesn't have this arising and passing part. So you need to contemplate the arising and passing. So what is the arising phenomena of this breath? You see that if I am going to kill an animal, then I have to take a long breath to kill that animal. So when I am stabbing also, I am getting a long breath. So in that case you can understand the arising phenomena of this long breath is killing. And then you already know that the killing lead to this anger. Because of the hate, you do this killing. So, therefore, you can see the arising phenomena of this long breath is the hate. And again, the person's normally working and Sunday afternoon, that person is getting a long breath because tomorrow I have to go to work. So, going to work is stealing. So, that means you can see the arising phenomena for long breath is the stealing. And on the other hand, you already know that the stealing lead to greed. Because of the greed, you steal. So then the arising phenomena of long breath is the greed. So therefore you can understand it is the greed, hate and delusion. That's why we have this long breath. So on. So that is the meditation if you are doing the mindfulness of breathing meditation. And then the next one is the clear comprehension. In the clear comprehension part, that there are two things in it. That is that you are actually thinking about why you change your postures. We sit down on a chair and it's painful, so we stand up. Then we walk and it is painful, then we sit down. So you always contemplate, why do I, walk? Why do I change my posture? And it's a really good meditation as well. The meditation we did on the first day about this, dead body, and then we were contemplating arising and passing. You can do that one, with birth, aging, sickness, death, for scenario. You can do that while walking as well, and that concentration lasts long. It's really valuable, you do that one while walking as well, and you remember, as soon as you start walking, then the next day, the meditation comes to your mind automatically, because it's, you synchronize your leg moving with this thing. So, people misunderstood this one as well. They are thinking that this is, you are lifting up the leg and putting down the leg, and so no, it's nothing to do with that. Buddha never said that one. You are contemplating the suffering part. That is what you are doing in the walking meditation. And the clear comprehension part, that monk is mindful that when he is, wearing robes and, putting down the patra and all those things, and it is mindful. And then again Buddha asks you to contemplate the arising and passing, because I constructed this body, then I have to walk and all those things, I have to maintain this. So again the Samadhi Bhavana Sutta, concentration discourse, arising and passing. And then the third meditation is that you are looking at the 32 parts of the body. That is what you are going to do. Now you are going to contemplate the 32 parts of the body. Hair of the body, nails, teeth and so on. And then Buddha asks you to contemplate the arising and passing away phenomena of that one. And then the 32 parts can be broken down to 4 great elements, which we did yesterday afternoon, last meditation. So then you do that, elements, using the elements, and the experiment outside is not mine, and this who apply that one. And then the fifth part is the perception of death. So here we are talking about 9 carnal bodies, dead bodies. That is the first one you were looking at yesterday, the dead body that has been passed and 2 or 3 days and fixture in nature and blue colored and so on. And then you think your body is of the same nature. I have not escaped from this one. And then you contemplate the arising and passing away phenomena as we did on the first day. And then, then this body sometimes, connected with these veins, so dead body, and then you think the same way. And then you see sort of skeleton where this the blood smeared, and then it has got some flesh as well, and then there are no more flesh, only blood smeared skeleton, and then there is no blood, only the skeleton, and then the skeleton parts are getting broken, the leg may be somewhere, head may be somewhere, and then later on that because of the sun rays, then the color is changing, and then the next one would be sort of this powdered form, the skeleton is no longer, it's just a powder mixing up with the soil. So each instance you look at the arising and passing away phenomena of this one. So that is the Buddhist meditation. So that is the mindfulness regarding the body in a nutshell. Contemplate about the arising and passing away phenomena, whether dead body, 32 parts or whatever it is, arising and passing phenomena. That is the important part. That is the meditation you did on the first day, first meditation. And when you do that one, you come to what is called Dibba Vihara, and it's translated to English as the first abiding, and that is the 4 jhana meditations. So that is the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and the 4th jhana meditations. So there is a bit of a problem over here, isn't it? Because we start with the first jhana, now we are saying I am in Dibba Vihara, first abiding, and if there is a first jhana, then that is good enough to have a qualification here. So what is the difference between the two? The first jhana mentioned over here in the second step, that is there outside the Buddha's dispensation. Before the Buddha, there were this Alara Kalama and others that who went to this first jhana and beyond those concentrations. Buddha is not saying that those are valuable. Buddha is saying it is this abiding in happiness here and now. That's all. Salleka Sutra explained that one. So the first jhana in the Dibba Vihara here is only available on Buddha's dispensation. The difference is here we do have this Kaya Anupassana, the body mindfulness regarding the body. There you contemplate such is the arising of form. So because of the existence, the birth come to be. So there is a dependent origination. So you are understanding one part of one link of a dependent origination. Because of that understanding, there arise the concentration, and that concentration is this first abiding. And that person is touching the Nibbana. So here you know that worm in a cow dung, that it is eating this cow dung, swimming inside it, going underneath and so on. And then someone outside looking at it look at this worm, thinking it's a pleasurable thing. This worm is going, eating and so on. So who is that worm in the cow dung? We are the worm, we are the worm in cow dung. Who said that, this life is sort of miserable? That is Buddha outside looking at it. That is the life that we are having, like a worm in a cow dung. So now with this person, when he is in the first abiding, he touches the Nibbana, then he understands that I was living like a worm in a cow dung. So then he get effort to get out of this one. If you are in a sort of a place where it is much trouble, then you feel like, I'm going to leave this place, I'm going to leave this country and go somewhere else and live. Like that one now touches the Nibbana, and then this person now put effort to get out of this one. That is this first right endeavor. So that is the first effort. Remember we were looking at this the first day. Here a monk rouses his will, makes an effort, steers up energy, exerts his mind and style to prevent the arising of unarisen, evil, unwholesome mental states. So what are the unarising evil, unwholesome mental states? That is thinking imbued with sensuality, thinking imbued with ill will, thinking imbued with harmfulness. That is sensual thought, ill will thought, harmful thought. So it looks like that, you put effort and you are away from the cow dung, and if you look at, that green part, I have not eaten it, then you are coming back to the cow dung, right? So that is sensual thought. So I don't want this one, I am away from the cow dung. So then, when you are away from that cow dung, then you see, the worm in this cow dung has been born in this one, and then it was subject to aging, the sickness and death. What is there is birth, aging, sickness and death. So it's like that, when in the morning you are going to work, and then you see that there is this cow dung over there, and then worms are there, and then in the afternoon when you are coming back, this is because of the sun rays, it's all dried up, and then the worm is no more. The birth, aging, sickness and death over there. So that is this first noble truth. That is remember we look at that one, birth, aging, sickness, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, despair and so on. So you don't see this one unless you are away from the cow dung. Normally people, when they work, they say, I will work, I earn money and then I live this one, I am happy, I got a car and so on. Unless you are away from that one, you would not sort of see it. It's like a good example is that, you might have been drinking tea with about 2 or 3 spoonful of sugar. And some of you may be doing it right now. But later on what happened, the doctor checked blood sugar and say, well, you have too much sugar in your blood, you need to be careful from the sugar. So then that day you go home, your face is not that good because you are not going to have 3 spoons anymore. So you are saying, give me 1.5 spoons for the tea, and then you are drinking it. Later on doctor will check your blood again and then say, well, still you have blood sugar, high blood sugar. And then that day you come back home and then you are saying, okay, hereafter no more sugar, I don't want sugar, then I will drink just black tea. And now you used to drinking black tea. So one day you are going to one of your relatives or friends' place and they do not know whether you have diabetic or not. So they are giving you this tea with 3 spoonfuls of sugar. So you taste first time and then you remember what will happen. The consequence of this one is that the doctor might have to amputate my leg, when you do this way. And on the other hand, now you are not used to drinking tea with 3 spoonful of sugar. So it's not appealing to you anymore to drink it that way. It's too much sugar. So likewise, when you are away from the cow dung, you can actually see it. Otherwise, you can't see that it is suffering. That's the problem with many people. They think that we are having a happy life and so on. They forget that this is how disgusting this life is, this birth, aging, sickness, death. There. So for them that birth and death, repeated birth and death is a good thing. So now you also see something else. Now you understand, when you are away from the cow dung, you sort of understand this. There is no way for this worm to be cured. Whatever way we treat, whatever medicine, whatever food we give, the worm in cow dung, that is us. So we are dying. So that is what is called this determination for truth. In Pali is musaya musa dhamma. Tang satyang yang amusa dhamma nibbana. Whatever is deceptive is false. Unbinding, the undeceptive is true. That is the Samosa Dhamma, it's only the Nibbana. Nibbana is the only thing that is lasting. All the other things are subject to falsity. So, that this one, when I read this one, this is description is available in Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta, the element discourse, and it was really striking me, what Buddha is telling here. You see, we have learned this chemistry, physics, mathematics, engineering, medicine and so on, and Buddha saying this, all those things are false thing, and it is deceptive. So I was looking at what is this Buddha is saying, and it is correct, isn't it, when you sort of analyze it. You see, just take medicine as example. What happened, what did they say when you have tonsillitis? In 1960s they said cut it. In 1970s they say don't cut it. In the 1980s they say it's okay to cut. So you see, there's no Dhamma. 60 is one thing, 70 is another thing, 80 is another thing. On the other hand, if you have, I can tell you one professor, medicine professor in Sydney University, has told his students, first years, that in the future we are teaching you many courses. Out of that one, 50% are wrong, 50% correct. But our problem is we do not know which 50% is correct. So honestly, he was telling that one. Now, this, if you have studied chemistry, when we were studying chemistry, they were saying that it is just the proton, you can't break it, that is it. Nowadays they are saying it's like an elephant, it's that it has got corks, there are ups, downs and so on, and so it's really big thing. So there's no truth in it, isn't it? So then if you have learned, and then if it is hurting you because of this, then just think. You see, only when you construct a house, then you need a plumber, an electrician, and carpenter and so on to maintain it. But if you do not construct a house, you don't need anyone. And on the other hand, can the doctor cure you? You have, 4 sicknesses that no one can cure, no doctor can cure. That is the passing of excrement, urine, and the thirst and hunger. No one can cure that one. So, no doctor can cure you. You see, if you construct the house I was talking about, referring to this house, if you construct, then you need they have a bypass surgery and so on to fix this thing, right? But if you do not construct, there is nothing to maintain it. That is Nibbana, So this, now we understand we cannot construct consciousness to last. So then the desire for non-lasting consciousness will subside, and the desire will arise to the attainment of the lasting Nibbana, and that is concentration due to desire, Chanda Samadhi. So the concentration due to desire has got 2 enemies. I will show you where concentration due to desire will be marked. It is in this diagram from birth to coveting and greed, and that's the spot for concentration due to desire. And its 2 enemies, you can see the covetousness is one, and then the sadness is another. But how do I get this covetousness and sadness? I look at someone, I say this person is so beautiful, so I get the covetousness from that one. And then next millisecond, then I see, a pimple or something, some defect in that person's body. Since you have seen a people without such defect before, without a pimple for example, then sadness come to arise. So this is happening because if I look, if I hear, so that means I need to control my faculties. So that is what is mentioned next? That is this concentration due to desire has got two enemies. So I can restrain my faculties not to have those two enemies. Now, remember yesterday, and we were looking at this Metta Sutta, and in the Metta Sutta, we were talking about this Santrindriyocha Nipakocha, controlling the senses, prudent. Now look, we have come to the same meditation again. We are back in the Metta meditation. You see, that day, yesterday we were starting with upright, exceedingly upright, using the virtue part, and then you became obedient, gentle, humble, and then you come to the controlling the senses. Today Buddha is giving you another path. That is this Patipada. This is the slow realization path that we are talking about. Consider those 10 Dhamma parts that we were looking at. We came up to 9. This one as the medicine. And this is the sickness, the physical nutriment. Remember yesterday we were looking at the physical nutriment. And then you get these perversions. While it is foul, then we are saying it is fair. So these things, consider these as the sickness. And this is the medicine we are looking at. For example, when we say this is the loathsomeness in food, we are looking at the vomit. So would you like to eat vomit? So in that sense, you are getting rid of this physical nutriment. Physical nutriment is the food, right? So that will solve that problem. And then the next one is this perversion, that it is fair while it is foul. And you get rid of that one because of the mindfulness regarding the body. That is the third one in your list. And then the third one over here is the clinging to sensual desire. And you get rid of that one from your second term. That is the concentration, first jhana, concentration. Only the 2 and 3 are not matching, that is actually swept around. So the other ones are 1 to 1. So here, barb of lust is the 8th one, and then the consciousness, steady on the form is the 9th one over here. So your 9th one is the controlling the senses. So if you are controlling the senses, then you are not looking at the form. Therefore, consciousness cannot steady on the form. It cannot hold into the form. Remember that monkey was holding into the form, feeling and so on. Now it can't hold into the form because I am not looking. I am not lending my ear. So that means over here you have come to the Metta meditation. So starting from the number 6, then you can actually do the Metta meditation, controlling the senses, prudent, courteous, not hankering after associating with families, and then you are actually spreading the loving kindness with the 8, the skill state of the mind, and then, finally you are reaching this, you are not going to go into mother's womb. So that meditation you do. When you do that meditation starting from number 6 now, then you are reaching the measureless state of loving kindness. So why the measureless state of loving kindness here? Why not yesterday? It is because of this first noble truth. Now here you are perceiving it as, suffering, birth, aging, sickness, death. And then you understood that worm in a cow dung cannot be maintained. It is dying whatever way we treat it. So you come to the determination for truth. And then, so you get the desire for lasting nibbana, concentration due to desire. You restrain your faculties, come to measureless state of loving kindness. So you see, when you are spreading loving kindness, what is stopping us from going into the measureless state? It is our stinginess, for example. For example, I take this example I took first day as well. There is an ant, and let's say you are spreading loving kindness to the ant, then you are quickly moving to the, maybe to a snail and to a dog, and then you are coming to, let us say, to an elephant. When you come to the elephant, it is not in the same speed. Now you are stopped at the elephant. Because elephant is useful for you, because it's big and you can watch it, and if you have an elephant, then people are saying, yes, all that person got an elephant. That says some sort of a reputation in the old days, and the elephant is useful. So over there you are actually not going beyond the elephant. Let's say next you want to spread the loving kindness to a human being, you are not there, because you are stuck over here. Now suppose elephant is having a stomach pain, and it is actually with the 4 legs, and it is crying and sort of thing. Then you look at the ant. You are saying, look at the ant. No, it is actually doing its business, very, going there and taking these things and so on. So actually I have heard people saying like that on, the elephant is not doing the other one, look at this one. So if we know elephant is suffering and the ant is suffering, dog is suffering, then you are spreading the loving kindness to ant. What is you are ending up with? Suffering. And when that is the word remaining in your mind. When you are looking at the snail, suffering. Elephant, suffering. Human being, suffering. So now the words, your word pattern, like ants, elephants and so on, they vanished. Suffering, suffering, suffering is there. So then you are reaching immeasurable state of loving kindness. So that is the meditation. So for this meditation, now we start with the painful way with slow realization. Remember, we are looking at that vomit, and then you analyze from eye, ear, nose, tongue, body and the mind. All 6 are rejecting it, but that vomit is inside our body, and then it is actually going through this the body parts over here, and then from that one you get this something extracted, and what you are extracting is something like a juice out of the vomit. That is what is called blood. Now this blood is actually now running through these veins, starting from the top over here. Now you go through these 32 parts of the body, hair of the body, nails, teeth, skin, flesh, saliva and so on. And then having done that one, you also did your good meditation yesterday, remember? Experiment is not mine, outside. You can do those meditations as well, quickly. Since you have done all the other 3, and since you haven't done this one, you might do the first 2. That is the vomit one as well as the 32 parts. And then whatever thing appealing there, you can recall yesterday meditation as well. So when you do that one, then you are in the first jhana concentration. And then from the first jhana concentration, you come to the mindfulness regarding the body, kaya anupassana. Here don't forget your first meditation, first day, first meditation. So that is the arising and passing away phenomena. Such is form, such is the arising of form, such is the passing away phenomena of form. How do we do that one? One seek delight, one welcome, one remain holding to it. By doing that one, the delight in form is come to arise. The delight in form is clinging. As clinging as condition, the existence, that is the existence of very same craving. As the existence as condition, the birth come to be. So that is the arising of this whole mass of suffering. And then you look at the passing away phenomena. One does not seek delight, one does not welcome, does not remain whole into it. By doing that one, then the delight in form ceases. With the cessation of delight comes the cessation of clinging. With the cessation of clinging comes the cessation of existence. With the cessation of existence comes the cessation of birth. So that is the ending of this whole mass of suffering. So you need to do that arising and passing away phenomena. When you do that one, then you realize, because of the existence, birth come to be. You understand a dependent origination, at least one link of dependent origination. So with that understanding, whatever the concentration that arises depending upon the understanding of the dependent origination, and that is the part over here. That is the Dibba Vihara, first abiding. For that person touches Nibbana. So then this person understands that I was living like a worm in a cow dung. I was swimming and eating, thinking this one is as a good thing. Now that person see, because that he touches Nibbana, there is something apart from this, the life that we have like a worm in a cow dung. So therefore he get effort to get out of this worm in cow dung scenario. So he put effort here. So here we do have this, we are strive to prevent the arising of unarising, evil, unwholesome mental states. What are those unarising, evil, unwholesome mental states? That is the thinking imbued with sensuality, thinking imbued with ill will, thinking imbued with harmfulness. That is sensual thought, ill thought, and harming thought. So I don't want those thoughts. So that in other words, I am away from cow dung. If I see that yellow part over there, I have not tasted that one, then I am back to that one. That is this sensual thought. So when you are away, then you see that is the first wonderful and marvelous idea. That is the first noble truth, and that is this, for this worm, that it was born there, birth, aging, sickness, death. So, and then, well, I was asking Sampati Mahaprabhu why it is called first wonderful and marvelous idea, and he said, isn't that when you are actually thinking about birth, aging, sickness, death, that rapture is flowing? And it is for me, it is rapture is flowing. So it is wonderful, isn't it? When you are looking at the suffering part, and then the rapture is flowing, it is wonderful and marvelous. So now you understand there is no way that we can treat this worm in the cow dung. Whatever medicine we give, whatever food we give, whatever Dhamma we teach, the worm in the cow dung is dying. So that is the determination for truth. Whatever is deceptive is false, unbinding. The undeceptive is true. That is, the Nibbana is the only thing that is lasting. All the other things are musa, false things. So then he understand the consciousness is, I cannot construct consciousness to last. So then the desire for non-lasting consciousness will subside, and then there arise desire for the attainment of lasting Nibbana, that is concentration due to desire. So concentration due to desire has got two enemies, and that is this covetousness and then the sadness. So then not to have those things, I restrain my faculties. Now at that particular moment, you are in this metta meditation, you are in the number 6, so you continue on the metta meditation, controlling the senses, prudent and courteous, and then you go through up to 15 parts over here, and then you are spreading the loving kindness like a mother spreading the loving kindness with the purified bodily, verbal and mental actions, and then you come to this fulfillment of 10 skill state of the mind. So now this one is a nice meditation in the sense, you see, first over here you are looking at physical nutriment as vomit, food, vomit. So you are saying, I don't want it at the beginning, loathsomeness in food. When you come to the control in the senses, you are saying, I am not going to look at vomit. So you are rejecting it. And then when you come to number 9, you are saying, I am not going to hanker after association with families, means it is something to do with the feeling, isn't it? So whatever the feeling that arises depending on the vomit, I don't want it. So therefore, because of the feeling, I am not going to go for physical nutriment again. So very powerful meditation. So when you do that one, you reach this measureless state of loving kindness. Well, we don't have to stop over here. You can go further. Now just imagine, there is a dog and a man, then who you are treating well? You are giving a value. You are giving value to man. But if the man is dying, then you are happy with the dog. Just imagine all the people, because of a nuclear bomb or something, everyone is dead, only the dog and yourself are there. Then you touch your, dog and say, okay, let us live together. Now, just take this, a man and a divine being. So you are giving a value to the divine being. If the divine being is dying, then you are giving value to the man. So what is over here? You can see the characteristic is that it is lasting, isn't it? So that permanency. If you remove that permanency, then you can go to the liberation due to loving kindness. That, in other words, you can see now, to the metta, loving kindness, you add suffering part over here, you manage to go to the measureless state of loving kindness. If you add impermanency to that one, then you are going to the liberation due to loving kindness, and your left side cheek, sort of you feel happy, pleasurable over here, in that, if you reach that level. So that's the meditation. So you start with the, loathsomeness in food, and then, your best meditations can be used. So let us take 10 or 15 minutes for you to have a discussion, take into your mind, and then we will do the meditation.